Leonard Fournette and DeMarco Murray are among the biggest RB injury worries this week, but there are several other backs who are coming up often in Week 7 fantasy stardom. Situm chats. Get the latest updates. More. Is Leonard Fournette playing? Is DeMarco Murray playing? These are likely the two most frequently questions being asked in Week 7 fantasy stardom. Situm chats. And while Fournette and Murray are the most important injured running backs, there are a few more questionable RBs: Melvin Gordon, Rob Kelley, Wendell Smallwood, who could also cause a waiver wire scramble based on the final regular injury updates. Get the latest news on these key backs and more. We'll be updating this post all morning and afternoon, and for even more up-to-the-minute fantasy info, follow us on Twitter at SNFantasy. Week 7 rankings: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, street kicker. Is Leonard Fournette playing in Week 7? Fournette, ankle, barely did any work in practice this week, and NFL Network's Ian Rappaport reports that the rookie star is unlikely to play against the Colts. This makes sense considering Jacksonville has a bye next week. If Fournette is held out, Chris Ivory would take over lead back duties for the Jags and become a fairly valuable commodity in fantasy circles, at least for 1 week. The Colts are giving up the second most fantasy points per game, FPPG, to RBs, putting Ivory squarely in RB2 range. DeMarco Murray injury update. Murray, hamstring, managed to get in some limited practice throughout the week, but even he admits he'll be a game-time decision against the Browns. Murray called his injury very frustrating, which make us even more pessimistic about his chances of playing. If he's out, Derrick Henry would be the beneficiary and fall to borderline RB1 status. If Murray plays, he still has plenty of potential value, as we saw in a similar situation earlier this year. Both Henry and Murray have RB2 potential if healthy, but Henry would seemingly have the higher floor. Week 7 DFS, Yahoo GPP lineup, Yahoo Cash DK GPPFD GPPFD cash value stacks. DFS lineup builder. Melvin Gordon injury update. Gordon, shoulder, received a questionable tag despite getting in limited practice sessions this week. There doesn't seem to be any reason to worry about him heading into Sunday's late afternoon game against the Broncos. He's our number 12 RB this week. Is Rob Kelley going to play this week? Kelley, ankle, finally resumed practicing this week, and barring a surprise late setback, he's expected to return Monday night against the Eagles. Kelley has been knocked out of 2 games with different injuries, and he needed a full 2 weeks to get over his latest ankle issue. If you really need him, he'll likely be there, but against the Eagles' top-ranked run defense, he's best left on the bench for at least another week. If Kelley is a surprise scratch, Chris Thompson and Samaje Perine would again split carries. Is Wendell Smallwood playing on Monday night? A knee injury cost Smallwood the past 2 games, but after returning to full practice this week, he's expected to play on Monday against the Redskins. LeGarrette Blount hasn't exactly run away with the starting job in Smallwood's absence, but he's totaled a solid 141 yards on 28 carries. Smallwood will likely return to his role as the primary receiving back, but it's unclear if he'll get enough carries to supplement his value and be worthy of a flex spot in standard leagues. Smallwood owners should take a wait-and-see approach if they can afford it. Andre Ellington injury update. Ellington, quad, didn't practice Thursday or Friday and is considered unlikely to play against the Rams in England. This likely means even more touches for Adrian Peterson, including some in the receiving game.